Hello, and thank you for watching this video tutorial on OSForensics by Passmark software. OSForensics is a feature-rich, versatile, and robust computer forensics solution used by a wide variety of professionals and organizations worldwide. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate our recent activity feature. And as its name implies, the recent activity module scans either a live system, an attached drive, or a forensic image file for evidence of recent activity such as accessed websites, installed programs, USB drives, wireless networks, and recent activity or recent downloads, and a lot more. And this is one of the most useful tools in this toolkit for identifying trends and patterns of a user and for any material that had been recently accessed. This truly is one of my hands-down favorite features of OSF, and if not possibly my absolute favorite. In fact, I often find myself comparing the output of the recent activity scan to that of a basic forensic analysis. The difference is that instead of an analyst spending an hour's time navigating file system to locate and review these particular artifacts that are spread out across a drive or file system, OSForensics automatically does this job for you at much quicker pace. So the result is completed, in seconds instead of, an hour or hours. So prior to version 4 of OSForensics, this module only supported Windows systems. So we are greatly excited to also announce that this module now supports recent activity artifacts for images of Mac OS X systems as well. So once you launch OSForensics, you can access this recent activity feature by simply clicking on the recent activity module tab located a short distance down from the top of the workflow as shown here. Or you can also simply click on the recent activity icon located here in the start menu. Now once here, this is literally a one-click operation, and so this is a look of the recent activity page. And like I said earlier, this really is a basic forensic exam that you can perform in seconds with one click of this scan button right here. Now if you don't need to change any options, you can simply just select the scan button here to kickstart the operation. But before doing that, let's go ahead and look at our options as found here in the configuration tab. Clicking on that config tab will open this options window that will show you all the different artifact types that the scan is going to search for. And you can deselect certain artifacts that maybe aren't of interest to you. You can uncheck them all or simply check all, which is the default setting. You can also narrow down your search to a particular date range if needed by selecting the Search Date Range Only radio button located here. Also, by checkmarking this box, you could choose to include any items that do not have any date stamp associated with them. So with our configuration set the way we'd like, which we're going to leave default, which is all artifacts, we also want to notice these radio buttons right here underneath the recent activity header. If you're running OSForensics from a USB drive on a live target system, by default, the live acquisition of current machine setting will be selected. And conversely, if you are running OSF on your forensic computer and are analyzing, say, an attached disk or forensic image file, the scan drive option will be selected, and the default device in that case will be selected automatically from the drop-down menu. Now, you are obviously free to change devices from this list if that was selected to any of the drives or devices available to you in that case. Now, there is one more filter here, one more option here labeled filters over here below the config tab, which we're not going to get into in depth in this tutorial, but just know that you can use this to create customized filters to quickly search through your results. So for instance, you can create a filter for a specific time range or for particular keywords, or even create filters to utilize any regular expressions that you may want to use. So those regex expressions. So you can learn more about the filters in the OSF help file available on our website, which I'll give you a link to at the end of this tutorial. The purpose of this tutorial and this demonstration, we'll go ahead and click scan here, and we're going to leave the live acquisition of current machine setting enabled, and to mimic us running this off of a USB stick in a live environment. So we'll go ahead and click scan, and right away you'll notice that you will start to see immediate results here in the results viewer on the left, and then you can see which artifacts the tool is searching for right here in the main window. Now keep in mind that this scan will typically run faster on machines with less artifacts, or something, machines that have a fast OS drive, such as an SSD. In the real world, on real life OS drives, just generally speaking, I've seen this scan take anywhere from a mere seconds on machines with little artifacts to maybe a minute or a little over in some scenarios. But either way, you're going to get results fast. So as you can see, mine is just completed with a little over 340,000 artifacts parsed out and categorized, all in a matter of seconds. So we have our vast list here of different types of artifacts that we're going to be able to go through. But really, one of the first things I like to do once I get my results completed is I like to go down here to the sort by options that are located at the bottom right hand of the screen and choose from my different options here the date descending option. Now, if the all artifacts category at top is highlighted, this will now list all of my artifacts in a reverse chronological order, listing the last thing to occur at the top, and then I can simply walk backwards in time and review most everything that was occurring on a machine. And then this setting will keep its place across the board for individual items as well. Browsing the artifacts is as simple as clicking on the individual categories you may want to look at. You will also notice, if you've been a prior user of OSForensics, that we've added a new feature in version 4, and we've added the convenient checkboxes here to the artifacts list. So this is making it easy to select specific files for inclusion in the final case report. So simply select the files of interest, and when you're done, you can right-click anywhere in this window and choose the X amount of items checked, and simply choose the Add to Case option. And then you will then be able to give that a bookmark type of a title, and give it some notes, some annotation, and to those selected files, which will then be, once hitting OK, included into your final report. And then also, since we are kind of mimicking a live scenario setting here, running OSForensics from a thumb drive on a target system, you can also automatically, instead of just creating or clicking on a few here and there throughout to add to your final case report, you can also automatically create a report of all of these files by simply right-clicking and selecting the export results to HTML or even CSV or TXT if you wish. So if you wanted to grab all, which is highlighted now, all 341,924 files in a parsed out, categorized HTML report, and then throw that back out to your USB drive that you're running it on, all you have to do is literally simply right click and choose the export results to HTML. And at that point, once you click on that option, it'll allow you to save that back out to your USB at that time. Let me direct your attention to another checkbox. So if I check mark the Show Empty Activity Types located down here at the bottom of the screen, I will see all of the artifact types that OSForensics tried to search for but did not find on my system. So by default, you're just going to see here in this results view pane artifacts that were found on the system. But if I enable this little check mark down here, I'll see things that it did not find. So obviously did not find some OS X artifacts as seen here on this Windows system, or media player recent files, Windows media search history, and say something here like mobile backups, for instance, which is looking for the most common types of mobile phone backups on a system. So I'll go ahead and deselect that for the remainder of this video. And running down the list here, what we see starting off at the top are MRUs, otherwise known as most recently used files, which are registry artifacts which log recently accessed files for specific file types, as you see here. We have an extensive USB history, including the make and model, otherwise called the what's called the friendly name in the registry in the USB store. We include serial number setting, or a column, for instance, as well as the first and last connected date and times if available. So the last connected date and time is usually always available, and sometimes the first connected time is also available as well. We are grabbing USB records from not just the USB store located in the registry, but also in places like Setup API Log to deliver really an extensive result here. You'll find things such as MP3 players, GPS units, even keyboards and other peripherals. Moving on down, our WLAN category shows us all wireless networks the computer has connected to. In another tutorial, you can see, and we show you how OSForensics can actually automatically display all of the access passwords for these networks in clear text. So it's a really neat feature that we do with this, that's located here in our passwords module. And as you can see, we have categories for cookies, downloads, browser history, which supports all the main popular internet browsers. We have our Windows event logs section, which is we've added some additional event logs here in the last version to this feature, such as the O-Alerts log. So this is a fantastic source of potential evidence in cases where maybe the modification or access of a Microsoft Office file are of interest. You will also get crucial information from event logs such as system logon and shutdown times, software installs, and even system time manipulation. We've got a section for browser bookmarks, our chat log artifacts, our installed programs, which is going to give us all installed programs on a system, the auto run commands, which are giving us what's set to auto run when the computer is logged on, our mounted volumes, and then we're going to give you all those hot topic artifacts in recent years, like what you can find in the user assist, jump list, prefetch, and shellbag artifacts. Now you'll see a majority of the nearly 350,000 files of what's are from what's called our Windows search category. Now these are artifacts and entries that are pulled from the Windows Search Index or indexing service. Now this is an incredible resource for a wide variety of artifact types. You can almost think of this as a junk drawer of artifacts, if you will. So you will find literally a little bit of everything in here on some systems. And I don't want to close this tutorial without showing a quick look at some of the other views. So you have the file details view, which we've been looking at throughout this video, which is the default viewer and gives you a little bit, more artifacts per viewing, window. And then we have some other tabs, such as the file list tab view and the timeline view. So here's a quick look at the file list view, which just provides the same details of the artifacts outside of a column type of a structure that we got with the file details view. Still have the check marks available. And then the timeline view is a quick reference feature that allows the user to quickly identify periods of heavy use. So you can choose, year, month, day, and even down to a particular hour to see, heavy periods of use by a particular user. Now, finally, I want to mention that in the default file details view, we have added two somewhat hidden features here that you may not notice unless you were using the program for a while, and that is customizable columns and secondary sorting capabilities. So to customize the columns, you'll just simply right-click in the column header area and select the configure option that becomes available. You'll have the options window appear, and at this point you can simply deselect any columns that you may not want to appear, and they'll take immediate effect at that point. So bringing those back is just as simple as relaunching the configure options window and reselecting those. Now you can also change the order in which they appear by simply clicking one and dragging and dropping where you'd like it to be. As you can see, I just rearranged the location column, which was here at the end, and moved it up to the fourth in line. Now when I click OK, that's now, the third in line, it has now been restructured where I'd like to place it. As for the secondary sorting, this is helpful if you'd like to sort by more than one column, which a lot of people like to do. So to select a second column to sort, let's click on a column header to sort results by just one particular data set. So let's sort by the item column. So as you can see, we've got a blue arrow indicating that is our initial column sort. Now to secondary sort on another column, we simply need to click on the control key, and while we click on another column header, such as the record ID. And as we can now see, our secondary sorted column is identified by a green arrow there next to the header ID. So there you have the recent activity feature, kind of in a nutshell. So there's a lot of information here, a lot of potentially good uses, and I think you're going to find that there's just not another tool that you're going to get that's going to give you all this information in just one click of a scan button, and literally within a second's time that you're able to create a report, or you can simply create add this stuff to as bookmarks into your main forensic report. So very functional and very useful tool. for a wide variety of uses, both from an installed version on a lab computer or from running it live out in the field from a USB device. For more information on this feature, please review the recent activity section of the OSForensics help file, which is available free of charge on our website by simply clicking here on the support tab from the home page, and then moving down here we'll see the help file, and then the download link is right here, and just a wealth of information. I believe you're somewhere around a 230 plus page user's manual, and just a good source of information for all of the different features for OSForensics. Thank you for watching the video tutorial on OSForensics by Passmark Software. For more information on OSForensics or any of our many products, feel free to reach us by email at info@passmark.com or visit us anytime on the web at www.osforensics.com.